Gotta turn on that mic first for cooking grot. I wasn't sure what to talk about today, but I think I have a topic. We'll see how long it goes. It might be a short one, it might be a long one, but long hard one. Woo! Anyway, got that Christmas spirit going. Well, then we'll get into it. I almost didn't make it. I had one of those frozen pizzas for the first time in a long time. So it was on the express train to you know where. Anyway, let's get into it.
Mailman podcast coming to you. Mailman coming to you. Talking about Minnesota. If you don't like it, you can go to hell. Mailman podcast coming to you. Mailman coming to you. Ooh.
All right, welcome to the Mailman Podcast. That's M-A-L-E for men after legitimate estrogen-free masculine approaches to the nowadays. Maybe I can speak English good today. We'll see. But yeah, so I've been thinking a lot about some things, and coming up to the new year and resolutions and all those things. And as the days go on, certain things happen to yourself, and you start trying to be useful, and it doesn't always work out. And I think part of that is because you got to be selfishly useful, and I'm going to explain that today. But basically, there's it's like the thinking about selfishness, right? It's always considered like a bad thing, but it's not. Doesn't always have to be. I got to turn this double. Hang on. Let me turn this off. The monitoring here, because it makes me double speak sometimes. Slur my words. I'm not drunk, I promise. It's just water. I think. But yeah. So I think I talked about this before, I think early on, maybe, I don't know, episode 1, 2, something like that. But there we go. Hang on, I'm working on my monitor here. But like things like procrastination, is considered like a bad thing, but it starts with pros, so how could it be bad, right? Like pros and cons, right? So I think selfish is another one of those things that is looked on badly, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. If you use it right, I think it's just like any tool. It's certainly something that you gotta be aware of. You want to go out there and just slang your thing around, and slap people in the head with it. That's kind of being a dick there. But bum. Christmas time. Woo! Hot ladies. Anyway, yeah, so you don't want you can fall into that selfish zone of narcissism. I've dated a few of those. Hell, I've been one of those. So it's you want to stay away from that zone, but it's hard to. It's a fine line between just looking out for you, number one, and actually doing that in a productive, helpful, useful way. So I guess you can look at it as like self-aware might be the way to look at that. So like taking care of yourself to be the best that you can be. Selfishly selfless. As I think I put it in there not in the title, or put it somewhere in there. I think it's a title. It's if you go back to I'm sure a lot of y'all out there have seen Bloodsport, one of my favorites. Woo! And he's like, you have to make mind, body, spirit together. Something like that. But yeah, it's true, man. You got to take care of all those things together. And like basically that thing that you like, so you got your mind right, is like that's that's the thing that you're using to kind of like guide everything around. You know, you can take care of that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then your body, obviously, you don't want to be loosey goosey around the where the muscles should be, which is everywhere. But we get there sometimes. You know, we can't help it. You know, food tastes good. I love food, and I got some work to do. But you know, you try to do your best in that area, and then you got your spirit, mind, body, and spirit together. You know, the spirit is kind of like you call it that thing that that you can't seem to like have any control over, your impulses, the thoughts that pop in there. Like, whoa, didn't know I was gonna be thinking about that today. We'll see how that goes. But I think a really important thing to remember is that you know, there, whatever you got going on, you got I don't know, feeling depressed for whatever reason, going through divorce. You know, I've been there. Certainly, maybe got some helpful tips for that in this conversation. But we'll see if it goes that way. But you know, it's if you got other things going on, you know, maybe you got some kids or you know, you got a dog. You're trying to hang on to that, but you're in the middle trying to fight each other for it, whatever that is. You know, you just got to remember there's no requirements for you to hang around or you know, take care of anyone or anything. Now there are some things that you should for sure, and you know, the kind of selfishness or selflessness, I guess, as well, that we're talking about today is not. We're not talking about like you're in the battlefield. You know, you start doing like selfless acts of courage and all that stuff. That's a different kind of thing. We're talking about the day-to-day, everyday kind of life here. But yeah, there's no requirements for you to hang around in terrible spot or be available as well, or take care of anybody. It's if something is broken inside of you, you need to fix it. And you know, just think about like when you break bones. Yeah, you need to distance yourself to heal it up, right? You know, sit the bench, a sports reference there, while the rest of the team plays the game. You're sitting the bench and you're healing, so you might be at the game, but you're not in it. You know, so you know that's certainly obviously the body there. Real easy to figure that one out. But it's the same for everything else, like your mind, spirit, all that stuff. Your whatever's broken, you gotta fix it, and you gotta focus on that before you start trying to fix other things. Even if like kind of like the world is crumbling around you, in a sense, you know, thinking about like the divorce, it's like at one time you know everything was. I would assume you felt like everything was going well, and then suddenly, whoo, bam! I want a divorce, and then you got to deal with that shit. And you know the instinct is to be in that situation, in the sense of is there something you can do? Let's, you know, how do we fix this? How do we get through that that kind of things? But you know, if it's over, it's over, and there's not anything that you can do in the sense of with someone else in the picture there. The best thing that you can do in that situation or any situation is to just, you know, take care of yourself. You know, that's going to be the best thing you can do across the board. Is I got to make sure that I'm going to be all right as this unfolds in front of me. And you know, sometimes that means you just got to go rub one out. forget about that situation for a second. You know, maybe you're still depressed after that, but at least for you know, a little split second of you might be all right. But you know, hanging out with friends, that's cool. Drinking, that's a whole nother story. It might be, I don't know, helpful in some way, but it's certainly going to be something you're going to have to fix, I think, in the long run. Got to get clear your head, man. That's the main thing here. You know, if you want to be able to, like, get through a divorce and be the best outcome possible, you got to have a clear head. Otherwise, they'll take advantage of you. They'll leave you with everything that costs money, but not with the items that it bought. Take the kids, take the dog, they'll take everything. If you don't have a clear head, you drink yourself to sleep every day, and go to work drunk. You might end up only having that bottle when you get home, waking up in a pool of let's just say liquids. Been there, done that. Woo. But there aren't any requirements for you to do those other things that other people are asking you to do. There are requirements for you to be healthy and functional in order to be able to help other people. So something that you see a lot of is people talking about it's like, oh, we need to help so and so country, or whatever it is, and it's like, hey, wait a second. We got our own shit going on. Like, we gotta fix that. It's kind of like the same kind of mentality there is like everywhere. What I found is when I am let's say 100%, we'll say 99%. Can't be 100% all the time, but the times that I've been 99% good. So I'm healthy. My mind's great. I don't have any. I'm not depressed about anything. I'm pretty happy. Physically, I feel great. That's just that little thing that's in the back of your head that gives you those bad ideas isn't doing that. Those moments in time. That's when I've been the most useful. That's when I've certainly been the most helpful. That's where this whole freaking podcast came from. Out of that. I wasn't like perfect yet, but I was on my way. I was definitely a lot better than I was before. And it was just kind of, when you get that the zone, or like when you're kind of just on automatic, but in a good way. So the other channel that I have, I just put out a video. Super excited about that. Let's see if I can pull that up, because I think it's progress. It's been one of the best as far as like quality goes, videos that I've done so far. We're gonna pull go into there we go. This is on Hard on Reviews website here. Our website. YouTube channel. Hard on Reviews YouTube channel. And let's go solo share. We'll pull it up just to see here. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up, not just to advertise the other channel. There's a that is that. We'll see what happens here. Damn it! No! Oh my god! Stop it! Hang on, let's see if I can. How do I do this here? I don't know how to control this here. So I guess we're gonna be watching that, because I can't figure out how to stop it. I think it was this one. These buttons allows me to do this. Anyway, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is here we go, interact. There it is, freaking button. Sorry about that. I lost track of that button, but so I bring it up. Yeah, obviously, I feel I'm pretty proud of this one. I think it went really, really, really well. And it was a long process to get this one done. It's a little dicey, and pushed some boundaries there that I haven't quite pushed yet on the channel. And it took me a long time to write it in a way that I thought was going to work well and still be funny. And I also figured out a lot of stuff with the sound on this one. So came out really, really great. Check it out. Maybe I'll put a link in the description later. But the main reason I'm bringing this up is it is relevant to the being selfishly useful. Jesus. But when I was playing this crappy game, and it was like I was. I don't think I was officially divorced yet because that took like a fucking year and a half, long ass time. But I was definitely drunk for that period of time. That being said, I was playing this terrible video game. It's actually the first episode review of this Hard on Reviews channel, and I was doing this thing like I was trying to figure out how to do YouTube. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do reviews, or I'm gonna play video games or something. So I was just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what stuck. And one of the things I was trying to do was what I called like the first 20. So I was basically playing the first 20 minutes of a video game, and then just kind of doing a voiceover as I was playing it, and then giving kind of like a rating by the end of it. It was okay. It was just kind of it didn't feel right. It just didn't work out for me. I didn't have the motivation for it. But one of those games that I played during that process, basically PlayStation was given like, or they still do, like the 2 free games every month. And then, so I ended up downloading the 2 games every month. And then one of those games is called Foam Stars. And Jesus Christ. What does this world come to? I will say there was some pretty funny shit on there. At least for like the video stuff, but it's a ridiculous game. But so I ended up doing the first 20 of that, and I was, wow, this game is terrible. I hate it. And in the few minutes of like I got up off the couch, went into the other room, went into the kitchen, and got another drink. And in that time of doing that and then coming back, I had I was already in this state of like game mode. Like when you're playing games, you kind of get into this like haze of like, even if it's a crappy game, you're kind of pretty focused on the gameplay. I don't know. I guess it's you get focused, like hyper focused on the activity. Maybe it's because you're using your brain, but also you're physically interacting with something like that. But it had me into that state of like hyper focus. So I wasn't thinking about other stuff. Even though like I stopped playing the game, it was still within that, coming down from that. So in that time, which is like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes it took me to do all that, 10 minutes max. By the time I got back, I had already come up with essentially the idea for this channel, and like the categories and things like that. And I was cracking myself up, and then I was in that flow state. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Jesus. I was in the flow state in there. And, it was because I was laughing at how, like, ridiculous. Like I said, there's some funny stuff in that game. And I was just laughing about, like, some of the ridiculousness of it. And it put me in a really great mood. And, even though I'm drinking and I'm trying to, like, forget stuff, essentially, I did. Like, I completely got into a flow state and came up with the idea for this channel, and then worked out a few kinks after that. And I'd say by the end of that weekend, I had already made the first video for this channel. And it was really, really interesting because no, I was definitely divorced by this time, but I was definitely not in a good way. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. But that's regardless. I was definitely drunk. I was definitely playing a terrible game. But being in that state of like I was in a good mood, and that allowed me the chance to like do something else. That I wasn't doing anything at that time, and it kind of sparked a curiosity and a motivation for me to go like, wait a second, that's a damn good idea, and I started working it out, and then by the end of the week, I had essentially the idea for the video at bare minimum, and I think by either that weekend or the weekend, I had put it all together. And if you look at that first video versus like this one here, it's still basically the same concept. I changed very slightly some things around, but it took a long time to get from there to here. But I had to go through a lot of working on myself to do that. So you need to be able to get yourself into those good moods, those good states, to be able to do that. So, like I said, I had a very brief moment of time where that happened, in the sloshiness of my my drinking and playing this dumbass game. But it worked out. It was enough time for me to get the idea to start this YouTube channel. And then, here it is. I'm still working on it there. It also spawned later on this YouTube channel because I was trying to do other things like, I wanted to help people in some kind of way. And I did start a channel for that. That'll come up much later on in this podcast journey that I'm on. Because I'm putting it together, but it's gonna be a long time before that happens. But I'll put it on here. It's a book about that whole process, getting some kind of completion there. So we'll get into that. But in the meantime, here, if we look at some of this processes here, so this channel for sure, but I guess I could pull up a video from what I'm doing here, but it's not going to be as entertaining because it looks exactly the same, with the same moving mouth and that's it situation. So I'm going to use this one because it has some visuals and motion going on. But basically, this is in a way of me being selfish because I'm doing this for me. I like editing videos. I like talking about random shit on the internet. So I just decided to do it online, live here, and then making those edited videos on the other channel. And it's really for me to enjoy my time and put something out there. In hopes to maybe help somebody get through some shit. So, basically keeping myself busy, that's been very, very helpful. I think that's probably like one of the main things you got to keep your mind busy, or else you start getting off track, and then you're just useless to everybody. But one of the things about like this video here, so just going to give you like the process here, is it takes a lot to put something together on YouTube, just in general. Even if you're just like hitting record, you got to do like the thumbnails, you got to do the freaking title, you got to do the description, things like that. So you're busy. There's a lot of busy work to do YouTube. So something like this, if you're in a bad spot, or you got a lot of stuff going on that you just it's not good and it's taking up all your time, you definitely want to get busy doing something. It doesn't have to be YouTube, but I think YouTube's a great way to do that, because it takes a lot of fucking work to make it work. Because you look at some of these channels and they're maybe they got content that you don't like, and you're just like, how the hell is this person popular, whatever. Well, it's because they're putting in the fucking work. That's why. YouTube is like, when I used to sell cars, and we had this thing where it was like you have a pocket full of change and you like feed the lot. So you're like throwing change out in the lot. Basically, the mindset is, if I feed the lot, the lot will feed me back with a sale. So you got that's the way that YouTube works. You gotta feed YouTube, and it'll feed you with views. But you can't do it. And I definitely lesson learned from the last podcast that I did with a friend of mine that's been pretty successful on YouTube. And, you know, basically quantity over quality is more important, you know, as far as like getting it out there. And that's really, really hard to, it's hard to overcome, you know, and it's like, you gotta, you gotta, so you definitely need to like know how to control yourself in certain situations. And that takes a lot of work too. I really like things to be right. And what I found, if I look back at some of the older videos, now that I had that conversation, is I spent a lot of time making things right, and then it still sucks. And you know, it's that's not useful, in the sense of you know, I could have made 3 videos in the time that it took me to make the one video, like that kind of thing. So like this video here, like the actual editing stuff, that took me like it took me a long time. I mean, I had to make some new things work, just necessity. So that took longer than normal, but the actual like overall process wasn't that long. The writing process took way longer because I was too busy trying to make it perfect. But that's not useful. That's stressing me out. That's not. I'm not taking care of myself mentally in that case. So you got to be able to prepare to die. That's the thing that I like to sit on there. So, you know, get yourself ready for this to be done and moving on to the next thing. You know, what are you going to do after this? You know, the Christmas hat is kind of like a thing for that. You know, I want to make a Christmas video for the next one. We'll see how that goes. But actually, I'm going to change this here. Let's see if I can get it. Hot ladies. There we go. Boom. But yeah, you know, it's if I want to be useful and helpful with these channels, by, you know, the Hard on Reviews one, that's to, you know, make people laugh, give them a you know, short period of time where they can forget about things for a little bit. This one, I guess, kind of the same, but lessons learned, which I'm almost done with my journal that I started the day that I was serious about quitting drinking. And then when I finish that, maybe going into the new year, it's pretty soon. I'm probably gonna do like 5 to 10 at a time on a video and post it on here, and kind of go over what that experience was like, what I think I might have been feeling in those moments. But that's coming soon. So my journal from, I think, 2022 September all the way up till it'll be, you know, sometime early next year, probably early January. I'll be done with that, and then I'll post those. They get dark, so we'll see how that goes. But that was my journey, quitting drinking and fixing myself and getting over stuff. But I had to do that. I had to cut myself off from the rest of the world, and you know, really dig deep, look inside, and figure out what the hell was going on, because it didn't go well during the divorce. It did not go well after the divorce until later, until I started figuring that stuff out. Had I figured that stuff out beforehand, you know, I'm not saying that definitely still would have gotten divorced, but I would have handled that much better. I would have looked out for myself, which would have been the better outcome for both parties. Because, you know, it's like, don't talk to each other anymore. Don't need to, but you know, it's just one of those things. Like there could have been better outcome for everybody, and for myself included. But I wasn't there. I wasn't my mind, body, and spirit together. We're not together. They were broken, and that was a really long fucking road to do that. And you know, it's you try to give people advice, It's really easy to do that. That's why we do that. It's much it's much easier to just give somebody advice than to actually like take your own advice and actually get some shit done. So that's why you have to disconnect from the situation. Even you need to take a look at yourself. What did I do to facilitate this problem? Excuse me, pizza. And maybe, what can I work on so I can handle this situation better? That's going to be the best outcome for it. So you're not trying to win anything. You're not trying to lose either, because you got to be careful. The other people in whatever situation it is, whoever else is involved, they're not thinking about that. They're being selfish in the the bad version of that word. You let them be. Let them do that. You gotta be selfish in the good way. But you have to disconnect. You have to detach from that and really just hunker down and start working on yourself. Those other things are going to happen. Let's go back to divorce for that matter, because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there doing that. You get your initial like I want to get a divorce talk there. Yeah, that sucks. But it's gonna suck even worse if you just like be sad about it and not get it done like a band-aid. Not get it done as quick as possible. You start fucking around and that shit takes like a year and a half. There are other complications, international things and stuff like that, but still, it didn't need to take a year and a half to get that done, but it did. So sometimes if you got to go through the court systems and all that stuff, it might take you a year and a half. But it's not going to be a bad year and a half if you got your shit together. So knowing that you're going to do the right things and get all the paperwork done as soon as possible. Like, don't sit on it. Don't let it drain you. It's just like, all right, it's done. I gotta. What am I doing next? And like I said, go rub one out. Go find a lady. Whatever it is, lady of the night. Get over that situation. But if part of your problem are other things, so like physically, you're not doing well, which is certainly possible when you're going through something like a divorce. You got to get in the gym. You got to work out. That's probably in part why you're in the situation that you're in. It's I let myself go, and everything hurt because I wasn't stretching. I wasn't going to the gym. If you keep doing that, like, and then now you're alone, right? So it's like, fuck, if you could just figure out something, right? Maybe you can't do all three at the same time, your mind, body, and spirit. But maybe you can figure out your physical part, fix your body. That's something you can probably do. You might have to start really slowly, like 1 rep a day, for a week, and then next week 2 reps a day, and then if you miss a day, you start back at 1. I think that's a pretty good strategy that's worked out for me. But let's say that's not the thing that you can do. Maybe you got bad knees or something like that, and you're in a wheelchair or whatever. Start reading books, watching podcasts that are meant to lift you up, in the sense of like your Jordan Petersons and those kinds of things, right? Like those are really, really, really helpful for your mind. Start thinking about stuff that you're interested in. So I'm like really interested in space and like science and things. I'm not good at it, but I find it interesting. So I watch a lot of podcasts and things about that, and that keeps me pondering and my mind off of stuff. So that's a really good detachment for me. And actually, speaking of that, You gotta use that snooze thing on your phone. What is that called? Do not disturb. Like, you gotta use that, man. Like that's how you detach from everything. You, and put settings on there as well, like where it shuts things off at a certain amount of use or a certain time of the day, and basically just cut out all the nonsense. The outside world, like I said. Sometimes you gotta fix yourself and stop worrying about others. Whatever's going on, you can't fix everything, but you can fix yourself. So, use that do not disturb moon thing on iPhone. You got one of those, or the my personal favorite is to cut out the news like entirely, to include Facebook feeds. It doesn't start you off on your friends' pages anyway. It has that stupid ad page at the home thing anyway. So just delete that app. Keep Messenger. That's fine. But unless you're basically just getting memes all day, maybe you need to delete that too. And you're gonna have to work on it. But YouTube, you're gonna have to show YouTube that you don't want to see news reports anymore. And it took me like, I don't know, 6 months or something to finally get my feed to stop show me freaking Trump and all that crap. Like it's like I just want to watch science stuff. But that's gonna be, I think, one of the most useful things you can do is just cut out the news, all of it completely, Facebook included, because you don't need to see all these stupid little updates for every little tiny thing. Like today I ate steak. Like I don't give a shit. Like that's not important. It's not valuable. And you got your own shit to fix. So cut all that stuff out, and you'll be amazed at how much time and energy you were wasting, or that you have, I guess, after you've done that. And then you can start realizing about the other stuff that you need to fix. So you disconnect from the rest of the world. You've opened up the time and energy to start realizing what is actually wrong with you. And then now you can start breaking that down. I like my spreadsheets and start doing things like that. It's here are the things that I like to do. Here are the things I need to do. Here are the things I want to do. Here are the things I'm doing that aren't good for me. That kind of thing. And you make a list of all those things that's happening day to day, and you got to be real fucking honest with yourself for that. And when you start breaking down that list, then you can start looking at all right, what am I willing to just get rid of right now? And maybe that's not eating potato chips. I don't know, something simple. I love potato chips though. God damn, they're so fucking good. But whatever that stupid little thing is, I'm not gonna, I don't know, I'm not gonna buy the expensive whatever. I'm gonna get the slightly cheaper one. Whatever that is, whatever you can willingly do, you just go ahead and cut that off the list. Great. Then booze is probably not going to be that thing that you're going to be willing to do. So we're going to save that for later. But then you start looking at things that's like, okay, well, that's done. All right, what do I need to get rid of that is really difficult? So for example, we'll do cigarettes, because it was a lot easier for me than the drinking was. But cigarettes was way easier than I thought it would be, because I used that not Thank You for Smoking, that's the movie. Jesus, Easy Way to Quit Smoking. So it's a book. I did it on Audible. You can get it as a book or Audible. I like the Audible one, just because I could do it while I was like taking walks and things. And basically, you just follow that book to a fucking T, and you will quit smoking, guaranteed. The other thing is they have the easy way to. It's not stop drinking. The easy way to control alcohol or something like that. It's whatever the alcohol book is that they have. I think it's the easy way to control alcohol. Same thing. You follow that book to a fucking T, and you will quit drinking. That being said, I didn't follow to a T like 5 or 6 times, and had to re-listen to that book a lot of times over a period of like 2 or 3 years before I finally had my last drink. But the cigarettes, it was like one and done. So it took me a couple of weeks to get through all the chapters. Just walking my dog in the morning and at night, And yeah, it was really easy. Just like the book says, like you'd be shocked. And it was just completely done. I actually, tested it. I picked up a pack of smokes, probably like a year and a half after that. And it was just like, no, I'm still done. Like, I don't want this. But that's, you can't notice those things if you're constantly bombarded with the rest of the world's fucking bullshit. So you gotta detach, and you gotta be selfish so you can be useful. And you can't be useful if you're trying to fix the fucking world when you're all fucked up. So just cut out the news. I guarantee you won't regret it. It's gonna be, just give it time. Just cut it out for like, I don't know, cut it out for like 2 to 3 days. See how you feel. If you feel like your life is gonna end and you can't deal with it, you need the news, and all right, you're not ready. But I guarantee you're gonna find you have a lot more time than you thought you ever did, because you've been wasting your time thinking about other shit that doesn't matter. It's yeah, it sucks. There's wars and all that stuff going on, and people fighting each other. But what are you gonna do? You're not doing shit about that. Like, that's gonna happen. Whatever they're doing, that's happening. So cut it out. Don't even listen to it. It's not important. If it's important enough, you already know about it. And if it's something that you need to take care of, it's going to be at your doorstep. Just think about it that way. And all those things are at your doorstep, right? You're an alcoholic, you got to fix that. You're a smoker, but you don't have a lot of money, and you're wondering where all your money goes. Well, it's probably going to those $5, $10, depending on where you are, packs of cigarettes that are doing nothing but wasting your time, essentially. I was, they give you a feeling. I've been a smoker, I know it. But after you're done with it, it's feel a lot better. Food tastes better, but I don't think that happened right away. Like, I think I started appreciating food more than like the taste of it. I didn't notice as much of a difference with that as I've heard other people talk about, but it definitely does. It's just I don't think it didn't hit me like I've heard it before. But yeah, so you cut those things out, and then you can start, like, when I quit drinking, like cutting out the news, that was a big time gainer there. Yeah, I don't know what word I was looking for, but you know what I mean. But when I quit drinking, it was like time slowed down. Like, things happen a lot, like, not slower. A lot of things happen within a short period of time now. And it didn't feel like that was the case before when I was drinking. When I was drinking, it was like, I started the bottle. By the time I get to the end of the bottle, it's like, holy shit, it's like fucking 4 a.m. It's like, I gotta work in the morning. And like, time just flies by, and when I stopped drinking, it was like I would do a lot, like the chores that I would do. I'd be drinking and doing my chores. That'd take all fucking day. And then next thing you know, I'm not drinking, and I start doing the same exact chores, and it feels like it's taking the same amount of time. And it's not like I'm extending it or anything like that. When I was drinking, it was just, I don't know, time slips away. I guess I blacked out a couple times maybe. But I started like looking at the chores, same exact chores, same amount of time. But it was like, it'd be like noon and I'd be done, versus like before it's like 6 p.m. or something later than that. Like wow, I've got the whole fucking day left. And then other things too, like I'd go out and like go for a hike or something, and when I'm drinking, it feels like it takes fucking forever, and it does, because time just disappears. And then when I wasn't drinking, it was like, whoa, okay, hang on a second. like I've done the entire hike, the same hike I've been doing, and it's like, I've got the rest of the day still open. So it's you gotta get the time by getting rid of things. Being selfish with that. There might be some things that rely on you to get done, but you still got to get it away. you got to get yourself some time. You know, it's like I use my dog. If you got kids, that's replace dog for kids. Like when going through the divorce, for example, so you want to keep the kids, you want to keep the dog, you want to do right by them, but you really you're here for a reason. You got to that point because shit's fucked up, right? And you're fucked up. So you got to fix those things, because that's what's going to be the best for your dog, your kids, whatever. Is if you go through that court system with a clear fucking head and have your shit together, you're not angry about anything. You're really just trying to get this done as efficiently as possible, and coming out on the other side clean, in the sense, maybe you've lost a lot of shit, but clean in the sense of like your mind, body and soul, your spirit together. And like you really just want to get out of that in the way that you're gonna be okay right from the start. Not like you get out of the divorce and it's like, okay, well, now I start building myself back up again. No. You need to start building yourself back up again the second you I want a divorce. Start right then, get it done, because you may never get out if you start too late. That's something I learned anyway. I started way too fucking late, like 3 years late after the divorce, or I don't know. Like I said, the time was very different when I was drinking. So I don't know. That's kind of all I really wanted to say about that was, if you're in a bad spot, you got to just focus on yourself and get out there and go, get out there, meaning like get out of that mind that's pulling you in there. Go work on the things that you need to work on. Take inventory. Look at your mind. Where is that at? Look at your body. Where is that at? Look at your spirit. Where is that at? And then start knocking things off the list, adding things that you should be adding. Sometimes you need to take a shower on there, because you aren't doing it. So make sure you add that on the list if you ain't taking a shower. Don't be a dirty fuck. Just remember, you want to come out of this clean. So take inventory of your shit. You're getting a divorce. You're losing your dog, losing your kids, whatever it is. You're losing your job. You're breaking up if it's just a regular relationship, or you lost a loved one. You're down in the dumps. Get your shit worked out. Cut out the news, and make a list of your inventory of where your mind's at. What are you doing? What do you need to do? What do you want to do? What's a problem for you? And then start knocking it off. Start working on that list. All right. So that's it for the Mailman Podcast. I'm your host, Dick Colin, and don't let your meat loaf.
Mailman Podcast coming to you. Emily Man coming to you. Talking about Minister Phony internet. If you don't like it, you can go to hell. Mailman Podcast coming to you. Emily Man coming to you. Ooh.